Since the establishment of North Korea, all three of its leaders, Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, and Kim Jong Un, have been known to use high-security private trains as their preferred method of domestic and international travel. 3. The train itself is officially called Taeyangho, Sun in Korean Taeyangho, unofficially called the Moving Fortress, and is likened to an Air Force One on rails. Trains have historically been used by many global leaders and royalty, but particularly military leaders, due to their high speed, security, and ability to accommodate extensive office and personal facilities within one mobile location. Kim Il-sung used a train during the Korean War as his headquarters, and continued the preference after the cessation of hostilities. He started the building of numerous secure palaces, many of which are either directly accessed by or close to railway stations, 19 of which it is estimated are accessed only by the private trains. Kim Jong-il's preference for the railroad transport was due to his fear of flying. Kim used the trains when he visited army units and factories or traveled abroad. The private trains still serve a network of 19 stations across North Korea, including some underground palaces only accessible by rail. In December 2011, it was reported by North Korean television that Kim Jong-il died while on a train during a domestic trip. Hidden behind layers of steel, secrecy, and symbolism lies one of the most mysterious vehicles in modern geopolitics, Kim Jong-un's secret train. Today, we're diving deep into the history, design, and political significance of this armored locomotive that has carried 3 generations of North Korean leaders across borders and through history. The story begins in the 1950s when Kim Il-sung, North Korea's founding leader, adopted the use of a private armored train. Inspired by Soviet and Chinese leaders, this method of travel offered unmatched security and control. His son, Kim Jong-il, inherited the tradition, famously fearing air travel and relying exclusively on trains for domestic and international trips. By the time Kim Jong-un rose to power in 2011, the train had evolved into a high-tech fortress on rails, the Taeyangho, or Sun train. Over the years, multiple trains, all called Taeyangho, were needed for security reasons. The trains have between 10 and 15 carriages, although the current train configuration is 20 armored carriages excluding locomotives. It is unknown what model or type the locomotives and passenger cars are, although it is strongly hinted to be China's DF-8S and 25G rolling stocks respectively. If true, the most recent train length, i.e. 2X locomotives with 20X cars, would be around 576 meters, 1,889.76 feet. The train has bulletproof glass and reinforced walls and floors to protect against explosives. Likewise, the train is heavily armed, with heavy weapons reportedly on board that range from at least 2 confirmed machine gun emplacements, surface-to-air missiles, and anti-tank guided missiles. Some carriages are only used by the leader, like a bedroom and bathroom carriage, and others are troop sleeper carriages carrying security guards and medical staff. In 2001, the train included 1 residential carriage, named the headquarters carriage, a luxury restaurant carriage, and several transport carriages that contain 2 armored Mercedes cars, as well as an emergency helicopter that is likely to be an illegally obtained American MD-500C. In 2023, additional carriages were identified. This includes an office carriage for Kim Jong-un's workplace, several gun and anti-aircraft carriage that house the aforementioned weapons, and a receptionist carriage for guests. Let's break down the train itself. The Taeyangho is no ordinary locomotive. It's a multi-car armored convoy, often stretching up to 20 cars long and pulled by reinforced Chinese DF-8 locomotives. With a crew of over 100 and speeds capped at 60 kilometers per hour, the train prioritizes safety over speed. Every journey is meticulously planned, with parallel trains for logistics and security sweeping the route ahead. Despite his reclusive nature, Kim Jong-un has made several high-profile international trips aboard the Taeyangho. These journeys often take over 20 hours, with the train crossing borders under heavy surveillance. The spectacle of the train's arrival, green carriages, gold trim, and red carpets, is a calculated display of power and prestige. Why a train? For North Korea's leadership, it's not just about transportation. It's about control. The train is a rolling fortress, a mobile palace, and a political statement. It reflects the regime's obsession with secrecy, control, and symbolism. The train also had satellite communication system with satellite dish connecting all the carriages. Parts of the interior of the trains are only known from the images and videos when a state leader was traveling. The interior of the receptionist carriage has completely changed since 1989 when it was very brownish. While meeting Chinese officials in 2018, the receptionist carriage had a wide white interior which was ringed with pink couches. In 2023, the receptionist carriage looked similar but with a blue-colored floor instead of a wooden floor. There are conference rooms with long tables and TV screens. The carriage of the office of Kim had a desk and chair. A map of China and the Korean peninsula on the wall behind it. Footage from 2020 showed a carriage decorated with flower-shaped lighting and zebra-printed fabric chairs. Very little is known about the train's interior, but defectors and satellite analysts have pieced together clues. Every movement is choreographed. The train schedule is classified, and its route is cleared hours in advance. Even foreign hosts must adapt to its slow pace and rigid protocols. Trains also have been used for travel abroad, with direct connection to China and onward connection to Russia with a gauge change. Kim Il-sung traveled regularly abroad by train until he died in 1994. Kim Il-sung's longest train journey took place in 1984, when he visited almost every socialist country in Eastern Europe. The train ride went via China, through the Soviet Union with stops in Poland, East Germany, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Yugoslavia, Bulgaria, and Romania. The rest of the trip went through the Soviet Union again. When traveling to Russia, the train wheels must be changed somewhere around the border because Russia has different rail gauges. A second train accompanied Kim's, carrying bogies of the other gauge needed. On Kim Jong Il's visit to Russia in 2001, the train was reported to have had 22 carriages. According to Russian statesman Konstantin Pilakovsky, life on board was reported to be luxurious. Guests could choose at the luxury restaurant from Korean, Chinese, Japanese, Russian, and French dishes. There were regular stops to stock up on live lobster and Bordeaux and Beaujolais wine flown in from Paris. Guests were entertained by singing female conductors. In April 2010, North Korea watchers inferred an unannounced visit to China by Kim, based on the supposed sighting of his train in the Chinese border city of Dandong. Soon, however, it was learned that the train in question was just a regular cargo train, and Kim remained in North Korea. In August 2011, Kim Jong-il visited Ulan-Ude, Russia, roughly 4,500 kilometers, 2,800 miles, by train from Pyongyang. In Ulan-Ude, he met Russian President Dmitry Medvedev. The Taeyangho is more than a train. It's a metaphor for North Korea itself. Armored, isolated, and steeped in tradition. It reveals how the regime views leadership, not as mobility or openness, but as fortress-like control. It's a relic of Cold War paranoia, repurposed for modern diplomacy.